doing? My name is Rich Guzman.
My name is Ace Guzman.
Humana. But anyways, welcome to our live. And this is very exciting tonight because if you look at the title, I want you guys to really look at it and really think about this. Are you just really going to truly dive in, or are you just tipping your toe in the water? Right? We have learned this a long time ago about when we want to get results in our business, we focus on, just going all in and diving right in, right? Because people that tip their toe in the water, what happens is they never get the results they were expecting, okay? It's kind of like if you're learning to swim for the first time, you have to learn in the shallow end before you go to the deep end, right?
That's true.
But sometimes you got to take chances and dive in the deep end. And I learned this because one time, a long time ago, I actually fell in the deep end in the pool. And because of falling in the deep end, it taught me to swim and survive. So if you jump in the shallow water, you're playing it safe because, right, it's shallow water. But when you dive on the deep end, you're taking that chance that you could drown. But the great thing about it is you can come out on top by actually learning how to swim because you have no choice. You will learn how to swim, right? Like what happened to me. So it's the same thing in business. When you dive fully right in, you are going to literally discover something great about yourself. And we're going to get into this right now tonight.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about this because we don't see a lot of people talking about it. I think it's pretty much on the back end, when you find out and discover it. But this is a great controversial topic about going all in your affiliate marketing programs. And Rich and I, we do weekly masterminds, and we talked about, different ideas, and every single week before we run our show, what is it that we could say or talk about that no one's talking about? And this is one of those major topics. It's about what's the premise of going all in anyway. I mean, why should I go all in, right? Because, the people that bring you and introduce you to the business opportunity always say, whoa, are you going all in? And then people don't really understand, like, the value of going all in or the price you pay by not.
Well, the money you lose by not either.
That's what that's the whole point. Yeah, well, that means the same damn thing.
No, I know. That's why I'm agreeing with you. Okay. I just put in my own words, that's all.
Okay.
So, you got to think about it as guys, right? Everybody out there that wants to make money online and they want to make it, they look at these compensation plans, right? And they find out there's different ways of, learning to earn money from different compensation plans. You got, top tier, mid tier, you got multiple levels, unit level, this level, that level. It just gets kind of out of control and crazy, right?
It does.
And this is why me and Ace have always stuck with high ticket, right? High ticket has always been the way to go. Mm-hmm. We did not become, financially free from low ticket, right? We became financially free from high ticket marketing. It's only because mid ticket, number one, is not going to pay your bills, right? It might make you a little bit of extra cash, which is cool and everything, but we're not here to make a little extra cash. We're here to transform lives, right? That's what it's all about. So when it comes to actually leveraging the compensation plan, you have to understand your compensation plan, all right? Now, I don't want to get too deep, and I want to find out who's on the live with us right now.
Okay, let me check that.
So we can say hello to them and stuff like that.
We got Rashida. Rashida's here.
Rashida, what's going on?
And Michelle.
Michelle, what's happening? So right now, we're going to share this out to the group. People, Internet Marketing Pros, are going to see this as well.
Yes.
And we're also here on the profile. We're a couple minutes behind. I'll tell you why. We have some audio issues. There's a Facebook glitch when you use the Facebook Live feature. If you have your microphone, sometimes it reads, sometimes it doesn't. I have a tester here that lets me know the audio is fine. So I knew Facebook, there were some glitches there, but it's all taken care of, it's all set. So we are on the brink of literally taking things to a whole new level when it comes to building your business on the internet. And I want to talk about really leveraging the compensation plan in your business. The way that you leverage a compensation plan is really just going all in, right? It's not rocket science.
No.
Because people want to make a lot of money, right? We all do, okay? But the reality is people get afraid of really investing in themselves and going all in.
They do.
To maximize that profit potential. Mm-hmm. All right? What we did was we always, when we took that step, that first step, remember that first step that took us over the cliff, so to speak, and we actually started crushing it, it was because we maximized that compensation plan, to the end, right? There was no stone left unturned. We made sure we got every single product. We got, every single level covered and everything else like that, so to speak, because we want to make sure that we didn't leave any money on the table whatsoever. Because the danger of not going all in is that if someone actually, that you bring in and they actually make a purchase,
right.
If you're not all in, what happens?
Yes.
Right? That gets probably rolled up to the individual who is all in, right?
And what that means basically in layman's terms is positioning. Okay,
Yeah.
It's something that we talk a lot about with our students, our inner circle, our coaching clients. We talk about positioning. Positioning yourself in the industry is very important, or you leave a lot of money on the table when you don't position properly.
No, you really do. And the thing about it is, we had to invest, I remember, $10,000 on a product in the past.
Yeah.
And what happened was, we had the money because all the business that we were, bringing in. Not only that, but we invested in the high ticket that was available at the time. There was no other high ticket. It was the only one that was $2,000 to invest in. And then what happened was a high ticket was released after that was $10,000. Now, we had a choice. We could stay at the 2,000 level and earn the $1,000 commission, or we could invest in the 10,000, to earn a higher percent of commission, right, which would be $3,500.
Right.
So we said to ourselves, we're at the crossroads here. We have, two choices. We could stay safe, or we could actually dive right in and not tip our toe in the water anymore. Because the problem that we had in the past and why we failed so much is because we always build our business through scarcity. We were scared. We were
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, we were like, I don't want to invest that much money because I was afraid of losing money. But the reality is, for the first time, we did the opposite. We did the opposite of what our brain told us to do, because our brain wanted us to stay safe. So what happened was we made a decision to just do it, right? Say, look, either we could take this $10,000 that we've actually earned, or we could just take that $10,000 and just invest it into that high ticket. Now, I'm not saying everything is $10,000 out there, right? The average is about $2,000 to invest in a high ticket.
Exactly.
But for us, it was $10,000, and we made that decision. And when we did, we noticed that a lot of other people started investing in those high ticket products as well, because they do what you do, not what you say.
Exactly.
And what changed for us is, when people started investing in that, we made so much money so quickly, it just made our head spin, right? And it was amazing because we never made that kind of money before, right? And we started understanding the industry a little bit better, and how to really make money fairly quickly in this industry, and
right.
How offers are important and everything else like that. But understanding that when you do go all in and you invest in yourself and you leverage that full compensation plan, guess what? You're not leaving, again, no money on the table.
Right, you're not dabbling anymore in your business. And there are people out here that are guilty of dabbling, and you know who you are. And you realize that after 2, 3, 4, 5 years or more or longer, you've been dabbling too damn long. And now's the time where you have to decide it's either now or never, right? Of when you want to go on. Thank you, honey, pulling me closer.
Yeah, you're at the edge. You're always
I
hiding.
don't know. I can never figure it out.
You're always in the
Put
corner.
some tape on the floor, then we can actually see where I'm going.
I know, right?
I'm short, so I don't need a booster seat. But yeah, and if you're dabbling, people are not going to take you seriously. So how can you expect to tell somebody to go all in if you aren't positioned yourself? We tell this to a lot of our basic members, to really not feel like you have to tiptoe your way upwards. Now, granted, and let's keep this real, some people, financial circumstances, they let the circumstances control them. They have certain issues. They can't literally do anything about it because whatever happened, happened.
And if you guys know our story, we were homeless in Motel 6 right before we got our own apartment.
Yes.
And we literally, from our taxes, because you had a part-time job that you started, and I was working at Best Buy part-time.
Yes.
So we took our tax refund, right? Perfect timing.
We got resourceful.
And we invested.
Yeah, we got resourceful. We started moving money around. And these are the key ideas that we can do. Where somebody would ask me, Coach Ace, how am I supposed to go all in if I ain't got the money? Well, get resourceful. You have to figure it out. And one of the things that my pet peeves as a leader that I can't stand, and I'll get this off my chest, is the fact that I have basic members that tiptoe and, they have the potential. They just need to do the work in order to get the money that they need to go all in. I mean, if we could do it, you could do it. You just have to do the work.
Especially at the time when we were.
You got to get some elbow grease in there. You can't just sit on your bum and expect it to just come to you. The only way, if you're really going to stick with the 3-foot deep end of the pool, okay, is to tiptoe your way to the deep end. But you got to do the work. You got to try to learn to swim. You know what I mean? Like, metaphorically speaking.
In other words, you just got to dive right in.
You do. You got to swim.
Yeah.
It's either sink or swim.
Not only that, but I mean, when you dive right in, it changes everything, right? Because the difference from our success to our past failures, the past failures, we never dived in.
Yeah.
We just tipped our toe.
Right.
Right? That was the mindset. Well, when the mindset shifted and we did the opposite, what our brain was trying to keep us safe,
right.
That's when it really changed. And we were like, whoa. Like, because our mindset completely shifted because we knew, like, it's now or never. Now,
and on top of that,
invested.
To piggyback off of that, Rich, is when a leader has this mindset and they are an all-in and everything kind of a person, then the people that you attract in your business, literally, it's like magnetic, attraction marketing. You're attracting those people that are just like you. They're all in just like you. Financial, what? Nothing. How much it is, I'm sold. Don't worry about it. Like, they see the value, okay? But they don't just see the value in the product or the service that you're marketing. They see the value in you. Keep that in mind.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, they see the value in you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fire on that one.
And
fire emoji.
That's definitely a fire emoji.
That's a fire emoji, baby.
Yeah, they do see the value in you because people buy from people. They don't buy the product. They buy from you, right?
Yeah.
That's where the trust lies.
Yes.
But it's amazing, and we share this story with you because it's something that we've been through in the past. And we share our failures with you, so you don't make the same mistakes we did, right?
Right.
And here's the thing too, once you take that investment, because it is an investment, you're not buying anything, you're investing in yourself.
Exactly.
And the people that have a better mindset are the ones that invest more themselves because they want to grow, right? And people ask, well, if you go all in, like, what are you getting? Well, that depends. Like, what is your offer about? Is it actually giving the value for you to become a better marketer? Is it actually helping you solve problems? More importantly, is it helping you solve your audience's problem, right? Or your potential prospects' problems?
Especially with the bonuses, right? Like, the bonuses have to add value to the offer more, because what if the bonus is crap?
Right. But let's talk about the main offer, for example. So when you invest in this main offer, the main offer is supposed to solve problems. If it's not solving problems, it's just a product just to buy.
It is.
Right? When we look at products that we purchase, that we invest in, we look at, the product as, is this going to solve people's problems and challenges and the pain that they're dealing with in the marketplace right now? If that answer is yes, then we know we have a really good product to invest in.
True.
Okay?
True.
It's not about just looking at something and just investing in it and going, okay, we want you to just dive right in. Go ahead, go all in. It's not as easy as that. You want to make sure that you invest in a product that's going to solve that major issue, because we get paid for solving people's problems. We don't get paid for people just buying products. We get paid for people solving people's problems, okay? And Jim Rohn said something like this, if not similar. He said people get paid the most of what problems they're solving in the marketplace. And the better you get at solving problems in the marketplace, the more money you're going to earn.
Right.
Period. Forget about everything else, okay? That's where it really lies.
So I want to talk about the advantages of, a high ticket offer and going all in. So an all in affiliate can actually promote premium offers, right? You can promote premium offers, and let's say those premium offers are worth $1,000 per sale.
Yes.
Okay? But again, it has to be valuable, right? It has to help.
It has to solve those problems. Yep.
Keep that in mind. So if it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever, it's the same amount of effort it takes for a basic affiliate, okay, to sell a $47 or a $97 product. Keep that in mind. You see, a lot of people think because of the price point that it's going to be different. No, it's the same amount of effort that it takes to sell a higher ticket as well as it takes to sell a basic.
Absolutely. Hey, Mark, welcome to the live. Nice to see you, man. So here's the thing, like, we realized a long time ago when we made that decision to really fully commit to this industry and making that first high ticket purchase, right? we didn't know, you know, in the back of our mind, we knew we wanted to succeed, but really we didn't know, right? We dove right in and we took that chance, we took that gamble, so to speak.
We build our wings on the way down.
Yeah, we're not messing around this time. From our past failures, we said, if we keep doing it the other way, we're just going to keep repeating the same mistakes. So we said, you know what, we're going to do it the other way this time. And that's, I'm telling you, that's what changed everything. Now, I want to go back to what you were saying a little bit earlier about positioning.
Okay.
Positioning is everything in your business. And it's not just about positioning as far as what you're investing in. It's about positioning yourself as a leader.
Yes.
And what happens is, you said earlier about leaders get attracted to you for that reason. And everybody always asks us, like, well, how do you guys attract leaders? How do you attract, you know, business builders? How do you attract people that, you know, on the same wavelength that, you know, that you're on?
Exactly.
Because they're out there and they're watching and they're waiting and they're looking to see who's real, who's fake,
That's right? Yes.
And who's ready to make that commitment. Because leaders like to work with people who do make commitments. And I know this because...
And they're in it for the long haul.
Right, because in 2009, when I earned my first $10,000 online, this was before I met you.
Yeah.
Because I met you in 2010.
Yes.
I was having conversation with leaders and they were asking me, are you ready to commit or are you just going to, you know, I remember the conversation went like, are you just dating or are you ready to get married? Right?
Yeah,
Or I said, I'm ready to get married. This is not a date. You know what I mean? I'm making a full commitment.
Right on.
And right there, I closed some deals with some leaders that we worked together, and in 5 weeks, it was 20,000.
Yes.
So it's just, that's the way it works, guys. You got to think big in your mind if you want to earn big money, okay? And I really want you guys to really get this mindset because, you know, I want you to share our journey. I want you to understand our failures, but also I want you to understand success, like what shifted, what did, you know, what happened during that shift, right? Were we scared? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were.
Yes.
Right? But we still did it. We still did it being scared.
Right.
Because we got sick and tired of doing it the other way, that it didn't work.
Now let's talk about different, you know, matrices, right? There are affiliate programs that are single tier and you get paid directly for all sales and every single sale is counted for you. But the disadvantage is there's no second tier of which you can't earn as an all-in member all overrides. Now this is the part where you have to solve because most affiliates or super affiliates actually have programs that are direct line, right? So they're just one level and that's it, top tier. But other affiliates also thought smarter and they leverage by building multi-tier. So now you have multi-tier and you can earn as an all-in member multiple streams of income just by positioning and being all in and then having and building a team aspect to it.
I'm going to jump on something and it's going to be related to what you said. I want you to listen to the way Ace just spoke, okay? Do you see the difference in the mindset shift, what she was talking about, versus people who fail, the way they think about it? What happens immediately when they get confronted with that high ticket price, okay? They look at the cost of what it is. They don't look at the mindset of what it can do, like the way what she was talking about.
Right.
See, when she was talking, she wasn't really talking about the price, was she? She was talking about the features and the benefits of what can happen, right, when you do invest in yourself.
Y'all gonna learn something on this show, I'm telling you.
Totally different mindset. And this is the way leaders look at business when it comes to earning money on the internet.
Absolutely. So you want to put out there the best visual as possible, that the potential for that team member. Like, take yourself out of the equation, right? And if you really are trying to, you know, help somebody, notice I said help, you're helping build teams. That's what you're really here, and that's what you're doing. If you're part of that type of program where you do have a second tier and you know there's a benefit to you to get overrides as an all-in member, take full advantage of that because you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, work
and
together.
Your competitors are outdoing you too at the same time.
And what's great about it, you know, you work together.
Yes.
And, you know, it's like you guys like a unified force when you guys work together because everybody wins. Right. You know, and that's what I love about that type of compensation plan when you have another tier because, everybody wins.
Yes.
Okay, everybody works together.
Yes.
And nobody loses.
And you can get really creative and you can help your team members, you know, by really helping them out because obviously when it's called help, it doesn't mean, oh, bring them to me after they've signed up. No, I want to speak to them and get them to position themselves as much as possible to go all in for my team member. You see the mindset? You see, that's the way you're supposed to do it, not the other way around, where you just get a quick sale. That's not going to benefit you at all, right? But as a leader, you can build success stories much faster. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about because I've done it with you. You can build success stories much faster, have better case studies to talk about in your examples when you talk about, is this really working or not? You have case studies now because you've helped your team members in those bottom tiers get their first sales, build their success story, have their credibility. Okay? That's the reason why people focus on leadership, because those programs benefit you in the long term.
Now, when you talk about overrides, what do you mean by overrides? Because we have a question about that.
Overrides means basically a commission percentage off of the volume, off the sale. So let's say, for example, like, okay, so let's say you're all in, okay, in one of our programs. And in the second tier, we get a percentage of, let's say, 60%, okay? And this is a high ticket. So we get 60% when we help you have your first all-in.
So what it does, it incentivizes leaders to help out individuals who need that help.
Exactly.
Right? To get things going for them.
Exactly.
Case in point, right? Like we have, our own, pages that we work with our team members, and we teach them how to get traffic and things like that.
Right.
Where they're able to really go out there and start crushing it, generate leads, and just start balling. Right?
Yes.
So it's just. And not only that, but we teach the conversion factor as well, things like that.
Right.
But that incentivizes us to put ourselves out there and share our experience with our team members, so they can go out there and start crushing it too. It only benefits us. Now, a lot of people, they like to hide things because they feel like it's competition.
Yeah, they do.
It's not competition when you're all working together.
No.
And you're all winning.
Exactly.
Right? So.
It's a win-win situation. And, I can share a case study. We did over $30,000 in one of the last programs we were part of. And the way we did that was we closed 30 new members, but at the same time, we helped those new members. We helped 5 of those new members get their first $3,000. Now, how was that possible? Well, that was possible because we took the time to be on their calls and help them with the people that they put in front of us, their prospects and their leads. We took the time to follow up. As long as that student was there, present. We don't follow up without them there because how else are they going to learn? They need to be present on either the Zoom call, okay, or in a group chat window in Facebook, okay, or Skype.
Well,
we have multiple ways of communication, and we would do it that way too, as long as the student, the affiliate team member, shows up. We don't do anything if they don't show up.
Exactly, and this is important because it really boils down to really having support.
It is.
Right? Having support where, a person is just getting started, is getting excited, starts talking to people, starts connecting with other people, or starts marketing on the internet, because we teach them and stuff like that.
Right.
Attracts new people to the business. We say, okay, great. Since we have more experience than you, all right, we bring them in a Zoom call, we get together, and we can answer questions for them and help close them to get them in underneath you.
Yes.
Not us, you, right? Does that help us too? Absolutely, but also it's a win-win.
Right, it is. And let's say if you're a part of, a fast start, right? Fast starts are bonus action. When you do things quickly in a period of time, and let's say the company's running a special promotion, or maybe they have like a competition or a contest for affiliates, you will win and you will be further ahead in your results because you have leverage now. You have leverage now. You didn't have to do it all by yourself. You're doing it as a team atmosphere.
Well, everybody wins together, and anything that we've ever done online that we've become super successful, it's always been because of a leverage compensation plan like what Ace is talking about.
Yes.
Right? It's massive because everybody wins, right?
Yes.
Everybody's learning, everybody's growing, everybody's getting results, right? The ones that don't get results are the ones that don't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, but the ones that do something, listen to us, they start getting results, right? But also, it does boil down to the right offer as well.
It does.
Okay? Again, the offer, which is what? The product, right? Has to, again, I have to go back, has to solve the problem, okay, in the industry. What problems is it solving? Okay? I want you guys to get that because that's really really important.
And I want to go back a little bit because we got some people that's showing up a little bit late. And
hey, Chris, how you doing? Welcome to Live.
You talked about commitment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about commitment because people have been a part of affiliate marketing for some time now. Maybe they had some, struggles in the past. Maybe they were part of these programs because a friend invited them, or maybe they trusted this individual and now they're in the witness protection program. They can't get in touch with them now, and it happens. Why?
It happens.
We won't talk about it. But let's be uncensored here. The commitment is very important because people lose that belief.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's dive into that.
Well, I mean, they lose that belief because they feel like something doesn't work because they didn't work it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's really the reality that people really need to understand. They complain about something not working when they're not working it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Anything in life that you want to succeed in, you got to work it. That's just the way it works.
You do.
The only advantage that you have in a team atmosphere is that you're all working together to do the same thing versus someone doing it alone and leaving you high and dry and saying, well, good luck, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Right? That's the difference. But the problem is too many people don't have the experience and they go and they buy the next shiny object syndrome. They go, okay, I see that this is getting a lot of attention, so I'm going to buy this. I see this is getting a lot of attention, so I'm going to buy that. And they jump in because of the hype, not the reality, the hype, and they go, well, I guess it works because people are making money and all these people are promoting the same thing. Okay, is it really working, or is someone just making the money because they have more experience than you do, right? And you got to really think about that.
That's right.
And then when people start to when they find something good, they find something real, they don't fully dive in because of what happened in the past. Let me tell you something. There's so many things that we've done in the past that did not work. Okay? Did we stop? Did we give up? No. We kept going. Right? We didn't lose faith. We didn't give up. Right? We just kept going and going and going.
We took our licks and then we kept on moving.
Until we moved that big ass boulder.
That's right.
Right? And shoved the boulder out of the way.
Yeah.
Until that process happened.
Yeah.
We just kept going. And this is the thing that when people look at things like, all these products out there, all these hypey products out there, it frustrates me because I know a lot of people are going to fail. A lot of people are going to struggle, right? They're being suckered into something that has no value. No value whatsoever.
Now, what if you went all into a program and it really was the program, but maybe you didn't give it your all and you kind of feel like you have to start all over? I said this to a couple of members who actually reactivated their membership in the program that I brought them back in. And I said, you know what's great about you coming back after, a hiatus? What's great is that you're not starting over. You're starting with experience. Keep that in mind. Don't let anything discourage you if you have to go all in and all over again. Don't let anything get in your way.
Yeah.
And know that this time is going to be a lot better because you're starting from experience.
Not only that, but you learn from your mistakes.
You do.
Right? Because what mistake did you make? Well, think about it. If you would have never quit or if you never paused, you would have been further down the line right now.
Amen to
right?
that.
But now that you're back, you're starting over, yes, but you've learned from that mistake. Right? You won't make that mistake again because you know what happened from your experience of what you went through.
Now, these are some great comments coming in. I see people commenting some great comments. But also, I want you to drop fire emojis and put your question in there because we're going to take some questions. We know people who actually are here, took the time to be here. So let's see what some of the comments are here. Hello, Boss Lady Ace, Master Blaster Rich, Mark.
Oh, wow, nice.
Hey, man.
I like that.
Mark says it's an AI thing and it's not going away. Well, AI's been making things a lot simpler, a lot faster and efficient for many, many marketers. However, when it comes to AI, please understand to use it as a tool, not as a replacement.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Chris Napa, hey guys, good stuff. Glad, eat it all up because this is what you're going to need to start from experience when you get back in the game. Rashida says, for me, having support when I need it, I feel like I can do anything because I can ask a question and it doesn't take 1 week to get an answer. And see, that comes with proper support and streamlining the follow-up process.
Yes, that is key.
Well said, Rashida.
Yeah,
Thank
I love
you.
That. That's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. She's right because think about how many communities, and if you're watching the replay, let us know in the comments. Have you been through this situation where like Rashida was bringing up, you ask a question and it takes over a week, maybe a month for someone to get back to you on it. Holy cow. You know what? You got a business to run. You can't wait a month, you know? Bills come monthly, but we don't need to wait for answers to come monthly. Right? So you want to make sure that you have an efficient support team. And if a company says that they have the best customer service, well, let them prove it. Let them prove it. Let them get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. If they can't deliver on that promise, that company, I'm sorry, is underwater. They're not as well as equipped with the right experienced customer service agents on staff. And that's the reason why you're struggling, and that's the reason why you're behind, and that's the reason why you're going elsewhere. Because they're not delivering on their promises, okay? And we know a lot of companies out there that have done it, all right? We've been in this game for a long time, and we know people come to us and they tell us, Asa Rich, you guys are the fastest when it comes to getting me an answer. I mean, I had a guy yesterday who got scammed by somebody and said, Ace, can you please check this company out for me? I really would appreciate it. I've known you guys for so long. I said, shoot it over. Showed me a screenshot, told me exactly what was going on. I knew right away what to do. And I said, listen, man, get out of this program. They're taking you for a ride. It is not a legitimate company. And then I told him what the red flags were to look out for and educated him on next time, don't fall for those dirty, mean tricks. Okay?
Oh,
but
yeah.
you see, I got back to him in real time. Imagine being a part of a program that you get answers in real time. Not a week, not a month, not a year.
I think that's one of the major complaints that we got from a lot of people over
Yes.
the years is that I can't, you know, I can't tell you how many times, like, you know, nobody's ever gotten back to me. I just feel alone. I have no support. There's nobody there. You know what I mean? And it's like, I get it. We've been there. You know, I get it.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the compound effect.
Okay.
The compound effect. You guys ever read the book, The Compound Effect from Darren Hardy? About, you know, the penny, how it multiplies, right? How, you know, would you rather have somebody give you $1 million, or would you rather start from scratch and start investing that penny? Now, normally everybody would answer, well, you know, I would do the $1 million up front. People that are unsuccessful will answer that way, because they'll take the $1 million, and before they know it, the money will be completely gone. Okay? Trust me. If you've never made $1 million before, you'll spend that $1 million. Okay? However, if you compounded that with compound interest over time, you will make a lot more money. A lot more money. All right? And it can change your life immensely. Not only that, but you will learn a valuable lesson along the way. It's the same thing when we're building, you know, with this type of compensation plans that we're talking about with high ticket, right? The longer we stay in and we go all in, we start building up that compound effect, like with those multiple income streams that you are talking about.
Right.
That's where the big money starts adding up fairly quickly.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And now that builds leverage for your business. How? Well, now you have more income in your pocket.
You do?
You could actually write off more things in your taxes, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Where you could take and, you know, you could buy more equipment for your business, right? Like nice monitors.
More traffic.
Right? Better cameras, right? You know, for, you know, more beautiful videos, right?
Right.
All write-offs. You can actually more traffic through your advertising.
Coaching.
Right?
They can invest.
Coaching.
Yes.
Right? Invest in yourself more.
Absolutely.
Be better. Think about you being better. Okay? Not anything else around you being better. I want you to learn to become better. All right?
Right.
Start building a compound effect within you. And in the book with Darren Hardy, he talked about that. He says, people, what happens is they want to lose weight, for an example. And when they try to lose weight, if they eat bad stuff over time, it affects their health over time.
It does.
Okay? So in other words, it's not what you do today. It's not what you do tomorrow. It's not even what you do next week. It's what you do day in and day out over a long period of time. Good or bad.
That's right.
All right? That's why the compound effect is so important when we look at our business. Right? If we're moving forward and we're doing daily steps every day, and I'm going to give you an example. You learn one skill set, right? And you practice that every single day. Right, you're sharpening your axe, you know, like Abraham Lincoln. You sharpen your axe.
That's right.
Until you get really, really good, right? But what happens if you start sharpening your axe and you just stop sharpening it one day? right? You got to go back to the drawing board and resharpen that axe, right? It's not going to help you. But if you, every single day, you keep sharpening your axe, you keep investing in yourself, you keep learning, you keep growing, right? You keep mastering your craft. You never have to wonder on how to make money ever again. Because you'll master it, you'll understand it, and now you'll have a clue, and you go, I get what's going on now. This is why we can sit here and tell you our story, our failures, because of what we've been through, but we also remember the successes. We know the success and we know the failures. And when we share the success with you, we tell you what not to do and what you should be doing, and why is important to be all in.
Right. Now I want to talk about the shortcut of the learning curve. Many of people who actually go all in, they have now access to all these course materials and things that the company provides. You have all these modules, 10, 20, 30 modules you have to go through. You got PDFs, you got to download, worksheets, all the gauntlet, right? The thing about the learning curve is those types of premium systems typically include advanced training that would cost you, yes, you, thousands if you had to buy each one separately. Over time. It adds up. Think about it, right? So now when you have it as a bundle, when they offer you an all-in package and it's a special and there's something going on, you want to take full advantage of that rather than having to spend full price on every single item in order to be positioned at the all-in level in your company, okay? And now what that will do is that will allow you to profit faster.
Well, that's,
much faster.
Man, that's leverage right there.
Yeah. So
the most successful people earn money from leveraged income.
Right.
That's really the key.
Yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, which is not, I have people coming to me, they have big dreams, they have cultural differences, and they'll come to me and say, Ace, Coach Ace, can you tell me how to make my first 50 grand? You haven't made your first 500 yet, but you want to make 50 grand, okay? Are you all in right now? No. Okay, so how long do you think it's going to take you to get to 50 grand if you haven't made your 500 yet? Right? And you're not at all in, you're at the basic level. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you were all in, then all you need is probably 50 customers, and then you'll be at your 50 grand.
Yeah.
Hello?
It's, again.
Right? See? Be not thinking.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
That's right.
And normally it has something to do, that's the mindset with the relationship with money.
Yes. It is.
Because we struggled with that in the very beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did.
I remember that.
Anything else you want to tackle on? Then we're going to do some more questions?
Yeah. I'm looking for some questions here on the chat here. And
there's a comment.
Let's see here. Rashida says, penny. Yeah.
Take the penny.
Yeah, take the penny.
Take the penny.
Let it compound over
time.
Let it compound.
You'll be wealthier.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Mark says, Home Business Pro has a multitude of information you can implement for your W-2 job, and that's just one platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have the ability to learn, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's all on you of what you're willing to do with it.
Exactly.
You have the education, you have the information. So now, how creative can you be to put it to good use in order to profit you faster?
What I like about Home Business Pro is actually you're able to learn how to understand email marketing, and it's explained in a very easy way, right? And it's really, really good for someone who doesn't understand email marketing, and that alone is worth more than what that costs.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is upgrade friction, right? Who here has had that? I'm going to throw myself on the bus. I had upgrade friction.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, what do I mean by that? Going all in eliminates the constant, should I upgrade question? Okay? You see? That gets rid of all of that decision fatigue that keeps basic affiliates back in analysis paralysis. You don't have to deal with that. You always lead with all in, and then, you know what? Let them decide. People get emotionally attached, and they're just like, they get upset.
Yeah, and you know how people get over that the upgrade friction? Is that they find ways of how can I get in? Yeah. How can I step into that?
Right.
Into that mindset? How can I step into that mode? At least I want to invest in that product.
Anthony Robbins said something great about that is it's not about the resources. I don't care if you got no money in the bank. It has nothing to do with it. We've been there.
Yeah.
It's about your resourcefulness. right? What are you willing to do in order to get what you want and to obtain it?
Yep.
Right? So what sacrifices do you need to make? Look at your expenditures now. Are you invested or are you spending? Because at that point, you're wondering, okay, if I move money around, I can go all in. I had a kid, and I say kid because he was 18 years old. I think this is the youngest one I've ever signed up. And he stayed in for about a year and then he quit. But I will tell you about his story. This kid was so hungry. I love when I see marketers, like when they first get started, they're inspired and they're like, I'm hungry. What do I need to do to go all in? And then he told me, he said, I just thought about what you said, Ace, and I don't really play my PS5 anymore. I just have it sitting there with the television and I got my games and I just don't play it anymore. I don't play the PS5 anymore. Maybe I sell that. And you know what? He did. He sold it right on eBay. And he took the money and he used it to go all in.
Yep.
Resourcefulness.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. I remember my first live event in 2008.
Oh, tell him that story.
And I sold my beautiful 50th anniversary Yamaha R1 motorcycle. Here's a great ending to that, though. When I started making a lot of money, I actually bought it back.
That's beautiful. Like, you was like, you know what? Let it go temporarily. I'm going to get the money. I'm going to go get it back. That's what you can always get it back. Right, guys? You can always get it back. Just let it go. You can always get it back.
But literally, I let it go.
Yes.
Because I wanted to fly out to my first live event.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I wanted to experience that. Because I wanted to dive all in. I wanted to dive in. I didn't want to tiptoe. I wanted to dive in.
Right.
So I took that money. I went to the live event, invested into the business, and that changed my life forever. I still remember that first trip. It changed my life. If it wasn't for that first trip, I would have never felt that magic. I would have never felt that experience. And for that reason, that's why I'm still here today, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. So, don't tell me you don't got the money, because you can get resourceful.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was definitely getting resourceful.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was definitely a commitment. Yeah.
Let's see here. Rashida says, I get FOMO, so I always try to go all in. It's all temporary. Yeah, it's all temporary. It's true.
It is.
That's a good point, hon. Yeah.
But you know what, though? Once it's done, and what happens is something happens psychological in your brain. You actually internally feel like, oh my God, I'm really going to make this work, because I'm more heavily invested in now than just tipping my toe in the water, right?
Right.
Instead of just like saying, oh, I'm just going to invest in I don't know, a couple $100, $500, whatever. You're going to be like, you know what? Now that I'm invested, let's say $2,000, I'm a little bit more heavily invested now. I'm going to take it a lot more seriously. And that's the difference too with some people, is that they'll buy products and they'll invest in the business.
Yeah.
And the ones that invest more tend to stay in it longer until they figure it out, versus the one who don't invest that much at all.
Right.
And what they do, they become a fly-by-night, right? They'll just come in and try it out, tiptoe in the water, tip the toe in the water, and then you don't see them again. You don't hear from them again.
Right.
They just move on to something else, and then they repeat that same process again. But here's also what happens: people come back, and they go, "Wow, I should have never left in the first place."
And
then they invest all in until they
Yes.
learn that lesson.
Yes.
But if they would have learned that lesson in the first place, right, happened to us,
Yes.
you could have been a lot further down the line, right? Your education, your mindset would have been in a different place, right, in that time frame.
And there's times where, you're gonna fail. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this by any means, right? And it's all a matter of timing, okay? But also, it's your consistency, your effort, and like what Rashida said, I get FOMO. What she means by that acronym is she's afraid of missing out. And so by being afraid of missing out, that means she saw the value in not doing it.
Yeah.
Hello? So when you are offered the opportunity to go all in on something and FOMO kicks in, you better know the difference between missing out and not doing it versus doing it later, way later. Because the thing is, people need to understand the universe loves speed. Success loves speed. When you do things quick,
that is spot on.
I'm telling you, things happen.
Guys, I'm telling you right now. Again, you talked about one of the programs we were in before.
Yeah.
That we earned $30K in 30 days.
Yes.
And it was a competition too. I remember that we won the trip to Miami, that kind of stuff.
Yes, that was it.
And I remember we built that 30 grand so fast. Why?
Didn't take a month
The
either.
universe loves speed.
The universe loves speed.
Okay.
We did it fast and
Did it
efficient.
very, very fast.
Yes.
Momentum. I'm telling you, momentum is all about the universe loving speed.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. When you dive in, you got to dive right in. That's why the title that you read in this live, are you just going to tip your toe in the water, or are you just going to dive right in, right? Or you're going to dive right in or tip your toe in the water, right?
And the same philosophy applies. Like as leaders, we should be talking to our fellow, community this way. Don't hide this from them. Don't let them find out the hard way. I wish somebody would have told me a long time ago. How many times have you all ever felt like, man, I wish I met Asa Rich 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? I'd be way further ahead right now if I was with them.
Yeah, because what happens is people go out there and they start buying all these products. They go from one product, another program, another program, another program, another program.
Or they quit and do their own thing when they haven't mastered selling someone else's offer yet.
Right. By the time they actually come back, they're like, oh, okay, I don't want to invest all in because you already spent the money on all these other products, right? That really wasn't beneficial, didn't have any value, right? Because you weren't willing to invest in yourself and grow as a person, a leader, to actually be the one that people want to be attracted to if you can earn some big money.
Absolutely. Is this really helping you guys? Is this really something that, it's like, wow, I'm so glad I'm hearing about this right now because the timing is now to learn about the inside, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the challenges you've been through, and don't you think that going all in will be a great solution to that? By doing it now and not waiting later and paying full price for every single product and every single service, then you are now starting over from experience.
Now, let me talk about this. This is another mindset shift. We have a lot of network marketers out there, and in the network marketing businesses. We were former network marketers ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And we've done great. I mean, Jeunesse, I was Jeunesse Global, right? We were in
Melaleuca.
We were like in, before I met you, I was in, what was that
TVI,
company? Equinox International.
TVI International.
TVI Express is another one.
And I was in Market America.
Market America. We were in a lot of network marketing companies in the past.
I can name a lot. Name dropping.
And what we've learned, over the years, is that when we talk to a lot of network marketers, they don't get it at first, and then they finally get it. And when they do get it, they go like, "Oh my God, didn't realize that."
Yeah.
Here's the thing: where everybody's trying to build a network marketing business, right? Whether you're selling, products as far as like anti-aging, weight loss, insurance companies. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You have to understand that you're trying to build your primary business. And if you're building your primary business, you have to find a way to earn profits on the front end before that primary business.
This is very key, yes.
Because the majority of people are going to say no to you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the people that you're going to actually talk to are, and here's your target market, are other people who have businesses or are seeking to look for a business.
That's right.
So if they do have a business and you say, hey, here's my opportunity, and you want to, have them join, but they're happy with their opportunity, why would you try to sell them your opportunity? It doesn't work. It's like two magnets that are the opposite way. They just repel from each other. However, the way attraction marketing works is that if someone has a business, you as a leader, how can you enhance that person's profits with their business? So in other words, are you going to build a network marketing business, or are you going to build a business? Two different things, guys. Network marketing business. So the people who say no to you should be finding a way to earn a profit from that.
Absolutely.
So you're not leaving any money on the table.
Yeah.
I learned this a long time ago, and it changed my business like you wouldn't believe by understanding that. If I would have went the other way, I would have left so much money on the table, because you know how many no's I got when I was in network marketing? So many no's. But if I had this understanding before, I could have been like, hey, let me help you build your business. Let me help you build your team's business so that way you make more money with your primary business.
That's right.
So if they become better marketers, your check's going to be bigger. Holy crap, guys, did you get that? Different mindset, different shift, right? Different way of thinking. As a leader, you grow and you go, let me help you enhance your business? What can I do to help you grow your business?
That's right.
They're not going to say no because they want to earn more money, right? And they
Right.
earn money through what? Duplication. So if you could help them duplicate their business by helping their team become better marketers, by that leader joining you in the resource that you're selling them to enhance their business, guess
Absolutely.
what? Not only are they multiplying their income, but
Right.
now their downlines becoming better marketers to actually earn more money, which creates them a bigger check in their primary business.
And some big stories.
Now that is fire. And I know maybe I went over somebody's head, but
Yes.
if it didn't, I'm glad you got this because that's huge, guys. That will change your business in a way you never even thought possible.
Helene Barr just joined us on the live. Hello, Helene. She says, important to invest in ourselves before buying products.
Exactly. Investing in yourself helps you grow and understand, the business itself when we sell something online, right? Just like I was sharing the strategy with network marketers, right? Those network marketers can enhance their business by understanding tools and resources
Yes.
to grow their business, to be more profitable, right? Now, the old saying goes, back in the day, who earned the most money? Was it the people that were digging for gold, or was it the people who were selling the tools for those people that were digging for gold, right? The people thought that the people that were digging for gold are the ones that earned the most money. The reality is that was false. The people that earned the most money were the ones that were selling the pickaxe,
tools. Yep.
right?
The pickaxes and the sifting,
Yep.
all the tools that they needed.
made
Yeah.
the most money.
They made the
and
most
that's the mindset you have to understand.
mindset shift right
what I
there.
was sharing early
Yes.
about not leaving any money on the table
Yeah.
for people who have businesses
Yes.
and people who are looking for a business.
Exactly. And I think that's another reason why we're so successful is because, we let people be, who they are. If they already have an existing business, we're very transparent with them when we say, great, if all things are working well and you have great conversions going on, then you're missing one key component, and that's your funded proposal. That's what you need on the front end in order to market that business.
And if you don't know what a funded proposal is, all that means is you're funding profits on the front end of your business from the people who say no to your primary business.
That's
Because if you
right.
just focus on trying to sell someone to your primary business and you're getting all these no's, it could be not your fault. It could be because they already have a business. You just don't understand the concept yet of attraction marketing and how you can actually earn profits for the people who say no to your business.
Henceforth, like Helen said, invest in yourself before you invest in buying products.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, guys.
tie-in right there.
All right. So we're already at the top of the hour.
Yes.
Right?
Any other questions
Wow.
before we go off? I mean, it's already that time.
Yes, that's
yeah.
So, guys, any last comments, questions? Let us know in the chat, and we'll answer them before we
Thank
go.
you for the fire emojis. You guys got an eye-opening
beautiful.
experience. Now when you look at All In, it's not as scary as you seem, right? Because
No.
now you know the details. You know what to expect, and you know what happens if you don't go all in.
You know what? One also thing we didn't discuss about high ticket that I've learned is that when you earn an upfront commission, it also changes your mindset when it's a high ticket commission. All right? People that earn smaller commissions, they don't get too excited about it. But when they earn a high ticket, they get very excited about it. They really do. And they go, oh my
yes.
God, this really works. Because, I remember when I was earning like small commissions in the very beginning, right? And then when I started earning high ticket, everything changed. I was like, whoa, right? Like I got super excited. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this works and you could earn a lot of money and things like that. So high ticket really can change your perspective on what you believe about affiliate marketing.
And it's really a big mindset shift because I remember when I was in, MLM before, and I would get those $3.33 commissions in a physical check. And I used to jump up for joy. I'm like, oh, look, there's $3. And then another week you come by and another month will go by and I'm like
$9.
$10, $9, $10. And I'm thinking, oh, this is a lot of money at that time. But no, that's my mindset.
And then I came along and helped you earn about a couple $100s a month.
Yes, yes.
Teaching you some online strategies.
You introduced me to digital marketing, and that's what happened.
And then from there, you started understanding about like, wow, how much money can I make?
I had no idea about high ticket and what it would do to my life.
And
but
then it just totally transformed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Find yourself a rich.
There's only one me.
There's only one him. He's mine.
All right, guys. We're
There
going to
you
wrap
go.
this up. I want to thank you so much for being here on Ace and Rich Live. Stay tuned next week. We'll be back same time, same bad channel.
And thank you so much for being here, definitely. And I am so excited about what's to come. And if you guys are looking for a great community to be a part of, we actually have a free Facebook group called the Internet Marketing Pros. You're really going to enjoy being a part of it. Just click the link in our bio. We actually invite you to come on in and see the great free tips, tricks, and training that we provide in there for you guys, as well as the Ace and Rich live show that we put every single week, every single Friday.
Yep, absolutely, guys. So with that being said, my name is Rich Guzman.
And my name is Ace Guzman.
And this is Ace and Rich Live, and this one's a wrap. Take care.
All right. Have a great weekend. Bye.